What's happening, HC Nation? Hey, Zach Edwards here with another question from a player. Now, this one is a really important one because it has to do with morale points. And again, one way of winning the game is by getting 3,000 morale points. Again, here's your marker from 0 all the way to 3,000 morale points. You hit that, you win the game. It's pretty important. So his question was more of, so say like Frederick Tudor, he's the Ice King. He was actually a merchant of ice all around the world. He actually shipped it all around the world. That's a pretty hard thing to do with ice because, you know, melts, whatever. But his ability says Frederick Tudor gives you a 200 point increase to your morale because of cold drinks and longer lasting food. Pretty important. So the question basically stands to, if I play him, he gives me 200 morale points, I increase my morale, but what happens when he gets discarded? Does my morale go away? No, it doesn't. The great thing about this is, much like if you had like Mozart, he composed a lot of music, and then when he died, did that music go away? It didn't. They were still able to enjoy the music afterwards. So the morale stayed, even though he went to the discard, in this game sense. Now, there's other things that, now if a person's played, much like Tudor, even if after his abilities are used up, he stays in that land because he's defending that land, he's occupying the land. You don't increase any more, you don't get it every turn. He just stays there and acts as a defender of that country, even if he is semi-weak. But what about something like the Dead Sea Scrolls? The Dead Sea Scrolls increases your morale by 300 points. Okay, so I play it in my active area because it's not a person and it's not a land. Land goes in the first row. Characters go above the land that they're occupying. Anything else goes in the active area, this area. So because I got the 300 points, I increase my morale, and then there's no real use for this card afterwards. So I would basically discard it. And it's usually a good thing because something like a technology, there are cards out there that will actually allow you to steal technology or use technology that's in play and even double the ability. You don't want your opponent to steal that. So after you discover ice cream, put it in your discard. Then no one can use it and you still be able to claim the morale points. Now, another one, the Geisha. There are a few other cards just like this, but it says for every Japanese character in the player's battlefield, they gain 100 morale points. So say you had 2 other Japanese characters, you get 200 points for those characters, and you get a third 100 points for Geisha. So that's 300 points that you get just from that one card. That's another great benefit. Now remember, I'm racking up the points this turn. The problem is that you can only go up to 800 morale points each turn. So this turn it's 800 points, the next turn is 1600 points, 24, and basically by the 4th round you can actually win. But hopefully your opponents see that and they're going to attack back. There are actually ways of losing morale. So again, if a card gives you morale, you don't lose it if they go to the discard. The only way you lose it, there's 2 ways. One is if you're the attacker, attacking another land. So not if you're playing Chernobyl or a card, but if you attack land to land and the attacker loses 100 morale points. Now in addition to that, there's other ways. Here are just some of the ways. So the San Francisco Earthquake, nice card. This one actually says your opponent's morale decreases by 400 points. So you get to pick your opponent that loses the morale points, and then after the abilities are used up, he could go in the event in the active area, but if his abilities are used up, or its abilities are used up, it would then go to the discard. So no reason to keep piling up cards that you don't use again. So put them in the discard afterwards. So that's the second way of losing morale. I guess there is a third way, and that's through conquerors. Now some of the conquerors, Mao Zedong, Hitler, evil guys that killed millions of people. But these cards, these people are like militarily strong, strategic. And so the abilities say Mao Zedong gives you an additional 2,000 points of strength in combat, but a 200 point penalty to your morale. So it makes sense. Hitler comes into play. You could use him for his strength, but he's going to decrease your morale. But opponents, watch your opponents playing these cards. If you see this played, remind them that they need to decrease the morale. They might forget, they might purposely forget, hopefully not, but you want to keep them honest. Now, when it comes to decreasing your morale, there's also cards like this, like spiritual leaders, such as Pope Gregory, which say in the abilities, your morale will not decrease below 500 points. Now that's pretty good. If I get up to 1,200 points and all of a sudden start getting knocked down and all my opponents are coming after me and they want to decrease my morale to 0 or below, because you can actually go negative morale. I want to play Pope Gregory, put him on my battlefield, so my morale never decreases below 500. Now it would be great to not decrease below 800 because, again, you need 800 points in order to attack your opponent. So, again, that's important. 800 morale points is the limit, the minimum that you need if you're going to attack from land to another land. Remember that. So, now if Pope Gregory somehow gets sent to the discard, it's full reign on your morale. Anybody can attack it and decrease it and even go negative. And there is one card out there, I'll mention this. The House of Representatives is actually a card that will decrease your morale. It doesn't decrease your morale. It's a card that if your morale goes below 0, so negative, for 2 turns, you automatically lose the game. So watch out for that card. Otherwise, if you have any more questions, please put them in the comments below. Email me, historicalconquest@gmail.com, and I'll respond to those questions in this vlog and an email. Until then, signing off. Thank you so much for listening.